Hi, I'm Walter. I'm the Dutch mentor. My eyes are going to be on the road, but I'm going to be talking a little bit longer today. I just heard a very interesting conversation on the radio about Gen X and millennials being ready to be interviewed. And there was actually a joke made, and it's sad if actually true, that they were bringing their parents for their first job interview. You know, I have to ask myself the question, as a parent of 5 kids, have I failed my kids if we did not talk about how to prepare yourself for a job interview? You know, we spend $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 on the bachelor's and master's and maybe even doctorate degrees. But there are 2 things that we're failing our children, maybe 3 things we're failing our children. Is one, it's great to have a foundation of education, and I'm a deep believer in it myself, as I have committed my life to education and development. But what we don't do is prepare them for the real world. Sure, they walk away with maybe having a resume, or understanding the impact that their social media accounts can have, or LinkedIn, in order to show a professional brand. Maybe even work with somebody to get this on paper and really tell a story on paper. But what we have not done is given them the guidance to learn to tell a story when they're sitting in front of somebody. Right? It is very different than having an interview, virtually speaking, when you're on the screen like I am right now, versus when you are in person. Right? Your nerves are up. You start thinking a little bit more from that lower brain. Your anxiety sets in. But if you're not prepared, then you're likely going to stutter. But more importantly is that when you apply for a job today, there are likely going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of people applying for that same job. So the question is, how are you going to be differentiating from all of the others? And the key thing is, when you go in for that interview, it is that you need to be memorable. And to be memorable, you have to learn to tell stories. You also have to remember that it's no different than an Olympic athlete who wants to go to the top of his or her profession. You cannot do it alone. You should not do it alone. We've spent $150,000 on education. Why not spend another $1,000 or $5,000 on 2 things? Hire a coach to prepare for an interview, to be ready, to make sure that all these little things around your diploma are taken care of. Social media, LinkedIn, CV, resume writing, your opening letter. But most importantly, practice before you go in for an interview. Learn to tell stories. Learn how to differentiate. Learn about what you can bring as value to the company you're seeking a job from. That's one. Number 2, and this really goes to people who might be in the workplace. Yes, you can be a high-performing frontline worker, but that does not make you a high-performing leader. Too often we come out of our MBAs and we look for that director-level job or that manager-level job. But we transition from point A to point B, and we end up doing just more work because that's all we know how to do, is how to do things. But leading is not doing. Leading is about vision, and about purpose, and about enthusiasm, and about motivation, and about bringing the best about other the people who are working for you. It's not doing for them because you feel more comfortable doing it yourself. And too many people get stuck in that valley of despair. That moment in time that they just lose the joy for maybe even a job. They create this horrible work-life balance because they're doing, end up working 50, 60, 70 hours per week. That's where we go wrong. Again, using a coach or a mentor to help you through the valley of despair. I've said this a long time ago. The best thing an employer can do today is to hire you and connect you to an outside mentor, somebody who can spend with 30 minutes a week with you for the first 6 months and help you go through the transition of being a high-performing doing to a high-performing leader, and guide you around self-awareness and self-development and solving problems and root causes, and how to establish operational rhythm with your team. Because that's where performance comes from, right? Performance is the function of trust and engagement. Well, if your competency is low and you're just overcoming it by doing it, trust is going to be low. And if trust is low, engagement is going to be low, and then productivity is going to be low, and that leads to frustration on both sides of the equation. That's what we need to do different. And the third piece of that puzzle is a financial acuity. Right? Too many kids coming out of high school, for that matter, don't know the basics of finance anymore. They don't understand checking or savings or mutual funds or stocks or the difference between any of those. You know, health insurance and life insurance. Right? All these things to me should be fundamentals. At the end of the day, we owe it to our kids to have a deep understanding of their mental wellness, spiritual wellness, physical wellness, relational wellness, and financial wellness. Hey, listen, we all hit bumps along the way. We all have pitfalls, and all have, thrived or survived, and sometimes we thrive from it. The key is to continuously learning. So the message here is this to parents and to students. If you want to thrive, and if you want to become a high performer, and if you want to be hired, don't do it on your own. Retain a person like myself. Go to my website at thedutchmentor.com. We have a great membership option available to you. Work with me for a couple, 3-4 months and get yourself primed to be in the best possible position to land that job. Because at the end of the day, it will help you pay your bills and set you up for the future. And that's where the key differential will come in for you, right? Because if you think about it, the compounding of the money that you are going to make because you landed a job versus waiting for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months is going to be of a real significance. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. So make that investment into yourself, or ask your mom and dad to help you out. $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 is probably the best money ever spent. If you want to learn more, come to my website at thedutchmentor.com. Book a free consultation. Let's continue this conversation. Mom and dads, take action. You owe it to your kids. You owe it to your own pocketbook. Don't just invest that $100,000+ in the base education. Spend a few more dollars and set them up for success. You will not regret it. All right, it is a beautiful day outside. I'm going to enjoy it, breathe, live a peaceful life, and make sure you take action, because without action, you don't get results. Take care, and we'll talk to you real soon again.